Hey everybody, it's Blue here from Blue Bears Games, and today's video is a Magic Mail Monday, but on a Friday. Confused? I'll explain right after this. Before I get to today's video, I want to first take a moment to ask for your help in supporting my channel. The easiest and cheapest ways to show your support are by liking my videos, subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet, sharing any of my content on your socials, and or by watching some of my many other videos that I've created over the years. Additionally, you can support the channel by purchasing Super Thanks, channel memberships, decks that you may have seen on the channel directly from me on the Blue Bears Games Facebook page, and or visiting our sponsor, Arcane Fortress, by using the link that just popped up at the top of your screen and purchasing any of their amazing gaming supplies from them. By using that link specifically, you should receive a 5% discount store-wide. And finally, the last thing you can possibly do to help the channel out is through donations of extra cards that you may have just lying around. Even your bulkiest of bulk will help immensely, so if you'd like to donate to the channel, please message me on the Blue Bears Games Facebook page or email me at bluebearsgames@gmail.com and we can discuss the logistics of how. Anything you can do to help support my small channel is greatly appreciated, and I thank you for it. Now, with that out of the way, let's begin. So here's the deal. For the next few minutes, I'm going to explain why I'm doing a mail day on a Friday and not on a Monday. I'm also going to explain why I haven't been making videos for the last few weeks. If you'd prefer to skip past all of this, I've added a timestamp so you can do that if you just want to see some cards opened. So first, regarding my absence as of late, I have been sick for a few weeks. I'm not sure exactly what I have, but for the first 2 weeks I had no voice, and it's kind of hard to film a video if you can't talk. I felt well enough to make the Zakama video a couple weeks ago, but then whatever's wrong decided to come roaring back even worse, so I haven't had time to really work on anything. So that brings me to this video and why it's being posted on a Friday. It's because this is actually part 1 of 2 videos for the same mail day, and I'll be releasing the second part on Monday. This was recorded previously, and that's why it's being done now. So why am I splitting this into 2 days? It's because part 2 has a package that was much larger than I was expecting and needs to have its own video. This video will consist of 3 packages sent by 2 different people, one of which is a close personal friend of mine. And Mondays will only consist of 1 package that's rather large. I think that's everything, so let's get part 1 started of this 2-part Magic Mail Monday. So the first package that I'll start off with is going to be light. Not physically light, because this is one of the heavier packages. Light as in, this is from a friend I've known for many, many years, and they sent me basic lands, so this should all be basic lands, specifically because I use all the lands I can get to build the decks that I build for everybody. So I'll just open that up real quick. Alright. That's going to be a lot of just loose cards in here. So we'll try to... There we go. We'll make it a tower. Alright, so, as I said, it's all basic lands. As many as I can get my hands on. Doesn't matter condition, doesn't matter what set, just basic lands. A couple of them are foil, apparently. Some are older, some are newer, but it's just basic lands. So it's got a lot of islands to start. Got some mountains. That's cool. And I'm just going to organize them a little bit as we go. A couple swamps. Looks like a lot of plains. And then we've got some forests, but it looks like we've got some non-basics in here too, which I wasn't expecting, so let me put them aside for a second. Let me get all the basics out of the way. A lot of forests, and the reason for that is actually because I always need extra forests, specifically more than others, because I do a lot of mono green decks that seem to sell a lot better than other decks. Not sure why, but we've also got a couple other things, like some Tranquil Expanses, some basic dual lands that come into play tapped, which I always need a bunch of these too, just because... You never know. Some grasslands here, Shimmering Grottos, and a couple of other little extra things in here. Wasn't expecting that, so I appreciate that, Keith. Oh, look at all that. So it was supposed to be all basics, but I guess he decided that I needed other stuff too, which I did. Look at that. Look at all that goodness. Like, Blighted Woodland is a really good non-basic, like, budget land. Let's move that box out of the way. Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wild, I definitely need them. Some Blighted lands, Foundry of the Consoles, Cradle of the Accursed, some of the Tri-lands that come into play tapped. Okay, there was way more in here than I was expecting. Some more comes into play tapped lands. Encouraging Wastes, I definitely needed that. I need a couple of them. Vivid lands, some more enters battlefield tapped dual lands.
Cool. I really needed these. Okay. You did very well for me here, Keith. That's a great card, actually. It's a shame it's all messed up. I'm sure somebody will appreciate that, though. There are people out there that like not perfectly conditioned cards. We got some more Tri-Lands, Evolving Wilds. That's in a sleeve, so I guess it came from a deck. Rare, Murmuring Bosk. A couple more sleeves. These are all perfect fit sleeves, so these must have came from decks. Oh, turn them upside down. Huh. All good stuff. Wasn't expecting this, so thank you, Keith. That was awesome. Really good stuff here. All right, so that was supposed to all be basics. It wasn't. That was supposed to be a little bit lighter than the rest, but we'll continue. We'll go to the next set of packages. Moving on to the next two packages that were sent, they were both from the same person, but at different times. I kind of accumulated a couple of packages at the same time, so I could do one video instead of having multiples, because this would have been 4 separate videos of small stuff, and then one big one. So these two came from the same person, and ignore the fact that this comes in a TCG Player envelope. This actually came from a person that I actually have that watches my channel, and not from TCG Player. They thought it would be funny to just put it in the TCG Player envelope for some reason. I'm going to, for all videos, blur out as much as I can my own address and the person who sent its address, because I don't want their personal information out there, and I don't want my personal information out there unless, of course, you're sending me stuff. So if you want that information, you're going to have to message me. So let's open it up. Hopefully I can get this one open pretty easily. It's heavily taped, and I'm trying not to ruin any of the cards in there, so I'm going to have to really try and not rip into it too much. So that's one package there, and then the other one, I'll go ahead and just rip it open like a regular envelope. Man, they really went all out and put it in TCG Player stuff, huh? I guess they got in order and saved all this stuff. Anyway, I guarantee you this was not from TCG Player, but whatever. There should be stuff I asked for specifically. This person sends me stuff all the time that I have specific needs for, so if I'm trying to build a deck at the time, it'll be stuff that I need for that deck at that time. So there's a lot of times he's going to send me something just because I'm always building new decks. Alright, so we've got those out. Let's see what these are. Alright, we've got some... I must have been trying to build at this time. It looks like the Spider deck with Shelob, or Shelob. So Arachnus Spinners, some removal, some Heroes Downfalls, Mortality Spears. So yeah, this is definitely... Lathril, okay. The Lathrils are actually because I have a request for a Elf deck with Lathril, so that's good. I can use those, and I will be making a deck with that very shortly. What else we got in here? Alright, and I have a 60-card deck that I made recently that was a Pauper deck that was poison-based, so at one point in time I needed these to replace them in case somebody wants to order that. So that's nice. That's what these are for, too, Anointing with Affliction and Infectious Inquiry. For that deck, it was a blue-black deck, obviously. Baffling Ends. So I use these for removal in budget decks. If I had enough of them, I didn't, so now I have more. And of course, more removal of Breathe Your Last, which is one of my new favorite removal spells from Black in recent history. So that was the first package. So that must have been a secondary package to the first package, which is this one that had more in it. So let's see what I was building out of this when I asked for the stuff I asked for. So Divine Reckoning, which means that I was probably building something along the lines of a Balin or something close to that effect, and I will be making another budget deck for that in the coming weeks, hopefully soon. Single combats, so yeah, that was definitely for Balin. Assassin's Ink, so removal, I always need black removal. More Breathe Your Lasts. Lots of them, so good. Deadly Derision. So more removal. Nice. Heroes Downfalls. As you can see, I like specific types of removal. There's a foil one in there, that's kind of cool. Another Heroes Downfall. Alright, Charomonyx. This is because somebody had requested a rat deck. That person hasn't really contacted me since they ordered it. So this is for me. I'll use that for one of my own decks. Cool. There's a couple of them. There's 3, 4. Well, I'm going to make a bunch of rat decks now. Sol Formation is for the wall decks, so things like Arcades, more Arachnus Spinner, or Traxxas Fall is just really good removal. So I like to have them in stock. Whenever I make a budget deck, they go right in. A couple of foil ones. Masked Admirers. So I mentioned Lathril earlier. Somebody wants a elf deck, so Masked Admirers is definitely a good rare to throw in there. Good card draw for green. Cool, there's a bunch of them. Silklash Spider, more Shelob. Another Lathril. This one's actually pretty neat looking. Couple of them. More Lathrils. Ooh, I'm going to make a bunch of Lathril decks now. Lembas. So these are actually Something I like a lot for all decks, 60 card and for commander decks. It's good card draw. It's, it comes into play, lets you scry 1 to draw a card, and then you can sack it later for 3 life, and then it shuffles back into your library if it goes to the graveyard from play. It doesn't have to be sacrificed. I really like Lembas a lot. This is one of my favorite cards in recent history as well, as far as artifacts go. Ooh, and a foil one. And of course, Encroaching Wastes, because I always need something like this for my budget decks. Gond Gate, I believe I'm in the midst of making a deck that needs this for myself. Same thing with the Heap Gate. So that's what came from those 2 packages. A lot of good stuff here. I don't know about you, but I can do a lot of building with everything that came in these 2 packages here. What do you think?
And that, my friends, was part 1 of my latest Magic Mail Monday. There was definitely some great cards in all 3 packages that I will use for future decks. I thank everyone who sent packages to help support my channel, but we aren't done yet. There's still that rather large package left to go through, which will be released this coming Monday. So what did you think? Did you see anything that you're excited to see me put together in the near future? If so, let me know in the comments. Well, friends, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, but if you're looking for more Magic-related content to watch, please browse through my channel, as I'm sure you'll find more of my videos that you'd enjoy. Before you scamper off, though, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, so you can be notified when I release new content. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you all in a few days for part 2 of this Magic Mail Day. See you there.